In this video, we'll cover integrated rate laws for the second order reaction. Say you have a product A, reaction A forming into a product, and you'll see that there is an equation below. That equation that's shown below represents the second order reaction integrated rate law. In other words, second order rate law is determining how much reactant or even a product is formed over a certain period of time. And we utilize this particular equation for the second order. For first and zero order, there were different equations in a different video. Now, this particular A initial represents initial concentration. T represents time, seconds, hours, days, years. K represents the rate constant, and that AT represents the concentration of the reactant A after a certain period has passed. Now, this looks a lot like a slope equation. And you see that M represents the rate constant, and the rate constant is positive here. You might have seen negatives before, and the y-intercept is 1 over A initial, and you have 1 over T, AT as the y, meaning that after all the equation has formed. Now, if the plot is not a straight line after plotting all these values in, then you will know that this is not a second order reaction. And I'll do an example in the next slide in order for you to understand what I mean by that. So here it says a reaction of butadiene gas to yield CaH12 gas is described by the equation, and it's shown in this equation. Here's my reactant, and here's my product. Then as prepare and compare two appropriate data plots to identify the reaction as being either the first or the second order, then identify the rate constant. And we don't know if it's first or second order, but it's one of those two, and we want to try to find out what that is. So say if it was first order, then we would have to use integrated rate law of this particular equation. ln is equal to, at time t, kt, negative kt, plus ln of C4H6 initial. Then if it was a second order reaction, then we would use the one we saw just before, which was the 1 over T, 1 over AT, or whenever the reactant concentration T equals positive KT plus 1 over the initial concentration of C4H6 initial. All right, so we're going to take this concentration values and plug them in either in the ln or 1 over that concentration in order to find out if this plot is going to give you either a line or a curve. You end up drawing two graphs, one to prove that it is a first or a second order, or first order, or the other one to prove potentially that it might be a second order too. So let's see. I don't really like dealing with times -2, so we'll go 0.0200. Oh, not 2, 1. And then this one would be 0.00504. This would be 0.00337. You get the idea. You keep on going. Okay, so we'll fill that out in a moment. And here we want to do ln of 0.0100, and this one we want to do 1 over the 0.01. Okay, so I want you to plug all of these into the calculator and see what you come up with, and then check with me in this video and we'll move on from there. So hopefully you got the same values as I did. So we're going to move on to the next slide. And the next slide is going to basically represent, next slide. All right, here we go, of the first order. So if it was the first order, what are the values here? We're just going to go ahead and copy the one that we had before, which was 605, negative 5.289, negative 5.692, negative 0.578, and negative 6.175. Okay, so if first order, and if I were to graph this, I'm going to go ahead and utilize this graph paper to graph it. I'm going to put T as the time on the bottom, and then because that's the x-axis, and I'll put the ln of C4H6 on the y-axis. Perhaps writing out the formula would help you out in determining which one is x and y, and also slope. So that would be for first order reaction, you have ln of C4H6 at time t is equal to negative kt plus ln of C4H6 initial. Okay, so at time 0, so say this is 0, and then I'm going to skip on over maybe 2 lines, and I'm going to consider this as time 1000, since it's going in 1,000's directions, 2,000, so on and so forth, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, and then this would be 6,000, and then that's 7,000. Okay. All right. Now let's plug in the y values, and you see the y values are here. The y values are in the negative, so it's a little different than what you're looking at. Say this is 4, okay? Say this is negative 4, and this is negative 5, and this is negative 6. Oh, I skipped 3 over, so that shouldn't be negative 6. Maybe 3, so negative 6, this is negative 6, and then 1, 2, 3, and this is negative 7, and it just keeps on going down in negative way. Okay, so say it's like this, and then you place all of these values in. So at time 0, which is your y-intercept, it's at negative 4.6 approximately. So if that's halfway mark, maybe here. Okay, what about time 1600, which is right here? That would be approximately negative 5.3-ish. So negative 5.3, place it here. Okay, next one I have at 3200. So right here, this would be negative 5.7-ish. So that would be somewhere around here, I would say. Okay, and then the next one is 448. Okay, 4,800 second, which is here, and that's at negative 5.9, almost close to 6, right? So I'm going to put it close to here, and then last one, 6,200. That would be negative 6.2, which is around here. So if I were to connect this right here, you'll notice that it actually is a curve. Not really drawing it well, but here we go. It is going to be curve that's going to flatten out. So we kind of will know that this is not a first order reaction. Okay, so should be taken out. Okay, so if it's first order, right? So we know that this probably isn't a first order. So let's see if we plug in the values for second order, it's going to give me a straight line. For the second order, we had the value on the side 100, 198, 296, 395, 481. Okay, I'm going to give these values to you. And then what I want you to do is try graphing them on your own. I know graphing is kind of challenging, but I think it's worthwhile learning and applying it to chemistry. So after plotting all the data here, I notice that this is a straight line, right? It's a very close straight line. I don't have a straight edge. So it is really close. It's of the straight line. So we can now say, yes, this is a second order reaction because the graph data points resemble a straight line with the equation that follows this integrated rate law equation, right? C4H6 on the bottom, positive K plus the 1 over initial H6 initial. All right, so now we know that so far. I have transferred over all that data points into here, and you can now identify which one I should be utilizing in order to find the rate constant, because a question here said, okay, is it first or second order? We answer that question. It is second order by graphing. Then it says to identify the rate constant. Well, the first equation, integrated rate law equation, was for first order. This one was second order. And so we're going to be utilizing the second order reaction integrated rate law in order to solve for rate constant. And remember here that K, okay, this K represents the slope. Slope, remember, is that it is, you could do change in Y over change in X, or you can utilize one of these equations, except for maybe time 0, to plug in the values of all of these and to find the whole thing, okay, to find K. So let's say I'm going to utilize this data point here, okay? I'm going to use this data point to plug it in. So that would be 1 over time t, that's 198, equals K, which is what we're solving for, at time 1600 plus 1 over initial. So initial, 1 over initial was 100. So you're going to solve for K. Subtract 100 both sides. So subtract 100 both sides. That will give me 98 equals K 1600. Divide 160 both sides. Then K should equal, okay, let me take out my calculator. 98 divided by 160. 160 with an extra 0. So K is equal to 0.0613. And this is a second order reaction, so we know the unit must be molarity per second and second to the first power, negative first power.